Hello Fox families, this is Mr. Bellamo. I want to go over some of our back to school updates with you for our start of the hybrid model, and please know that all of these updates have been emailed to you. They are in our SMORE, they are also on Facebook, and they were sent to you in Remind 101. But let's get started, talk about some of the face-to-face changes at Fox. We want to talk about some of the safety protocol that we have in place and some of the building procedures that we have going on. First, we want to start off by telling you guys that there is social distancing going on with staff and students at Fox. We've limited furniture to reduce items that need to be cleaned. All employees have to do a health screener each day. They cannot come into the building without doing the health screener. And we expect that students and parents at home will do the health screener each day before children come to school. We have a detailed record of all visitors to our building. We do not have visitors at this time. We only have staff and students in the building, unless it's a specific reason why somebody has to be here in the building. We have virtual meetings going on for things like IEPs, student meetings, staff meetings, parent-teacher conferences. All types of meetings are virtual for right now. As we said before, only students can enter the building, so we have, for late arrivals, we have a sign-in sheet outside, and parents will buzz a child in. For early dismissals, parents will be showing proof of identification, and the procedures will remain that way for now. If a parent does need to come in, it'll be a special circumstance where parents do come in. Guests are limited, so of course in the future we want parents to be able to come back in, but for safety for the students and staff at this time, we're keeping it to staff and students. As you know, we have an A-B track schedule for our kids here at Fox. If your child is an A student, they come to school Monday and Wednesday and every other Friday. And if your child is on the B track, they come to school on Tuesday and Thursday and every other Friday. I do have a rotation schedule for you, and that is in the face-to-face communications, the guidelines that I provided for you in the multiple areas. The hybrid model starts October 12th, this Monday, for the A students, and October 13th on Tuesday for the B students. For arrival and dismissal, we really want to make sure that we are not congregating outside, meaning parents all waiting outside in close proximity to each other. So we're asking that you stay in your cars or drop off your students as close to the first bell as possible. The first bell this year is at 8:23 a.m. So we're asking you, please do not send walkers to school much earlier or early to school, so that way they're all waiting outside together, and the kids. And we're asking so parents stay in your cars or just drop off as close to 8:23 as possible. We know that there's going to be some circumstances where it's not always that easy, but the first bell rings at 8:23 a.m. and the school day starts at 8:30 a.m. Now this year, all of our kids are going to be entering school a little bit differently. We're going to be using the designated classroom teacher doors or certain hallway doors if it is designated for your child. We have maps provided in the newsletter that I am providing for you, and it'll say which door your child will use. Now we know that kindergartners, first graders, they're going to have some trouble getting places. We will have enough staff to help out to make sure your child gets exactly where they need to go. So I just want to go through a bullet point list here on arrival and dismissal. Students must exit the building during dismissal within 15 minutes of the bell. I know in the past we've had students that wait around a little bit. They're waiting for parents. If your child is staying here at school, they should be using the SAC program at dismissal time. We are dismissing kids in a certain order this year and not just at the bell. We're dismissing 5th grade, then 4th, then 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and kindergarten. We have the older students that have siblings will pick up their younger siblings from their classrooms. We have our SAC aides for school-age childcare. We'll be picking up the kindergartners to bring to the SAC room. So the students will know at what time each day when they'll be going to SAC. We'll make an announcement for that. We have some of them being picked up. We will have safeties helping out once those kids are back to school, helping bring the kindergartners to buses and things like that. But we will have some staggered dismissal, because what we want to do is we want to eliminate having big groups of kids traveling in the school and traveling outside on our sidewalks. We want to make it as safe as we can for everyone. For our parents at dismissal, if you're picking up your children with a vehicle or you have walked up to school, please don't arrive too early. Again, we don't want to congregate outside. I know it's fun to do and we've always done it in the past, but since we're taking all of these safety precautions, we're hoping that you will show up to school at the dismissal time for your children. That way, we are limiting the amount of people that are waiting outside and we don't have groups of people outside together. We really want to practice social distancing outside and everywhere in the building. For dropping items off to school for your kids, we will have bins located outside the main doors right near the buzzer. So you'll please buzz our office, let us know you're here, let us know what you're dropping off and who it's for. We will have stickers for you to put on the bag or whatever you're dropping off, and we'll make sure it gets right to your child. For late arrival and early dismissal, again, we are going to be using the tables right outside of our building, and you will be buzzing in and letting us know exactly what you're going to be doing, if you are picking somebody up for early dismissal, or if you're dropping a student off for late arrival. Information for busing can be found on our district website. I also have that available in our face-to-face and return to Fox guidelines that I provided to you. So you'll find the transportation website link. You can find instructions to how to find your child's bus route. All of that information can be found on our district website as well. If you have any questions on that, we can help you too. Again, for walkers and parent pickup, our dismissal this year is 3:14 p.m. So please don't come to school too much earlier than that. Like we said before, we just don't want all the congregating going on outside and in the parking lot. Arrival and dismissal doors are provided for you. There's also a map in our Fox Guidelines SMORE newsletter. SAC procedures will be given to you by our SAC program, and your child has to be registered to begin using the SAC program. That will not begin the first week of school. That will begin this second week after the hybrid model starts. On facial coverings, we are using those at Fox. All students and staff will wear facial coverings in the classroom and in the common areas. This is the same for all Chippewa Valley schools, all of our elementaries, middle schools, and high schools. Teachers will be given extra facial coverings to keep on hand in case a student doesn't have one. We also have lanyards for the kids. That way they don't lose their face covering and they'll have it throughout the day. If you have other questions on facial coverings, please see the district guidelines for any other questions that you might have. This year in our hallways and common areas, we have one-way traffic whenever possible. We have directional floor stickers on the tile and on the carpet. Face coverings will be worn in the hallways as they will in every area of the school. We have right and left lane traffic, and we also have stickers for social distancing so kids know how far to space themselves out when they're standing, waiting in groups, or when they're walking. In our classrooms, we're going to try to have our desks facing the same way if possible. We're providing as much social distancing as possible, and that's going to be no problem at all since we're in a hybrid model and we have half the amount of students in our classrooms. Any excess furniture will be removed. Soft touch surfaces that cannot be washed easily are going to be removed or not utilized. Cleaning products and hand sanitizer are available. High touch surfaces are going to be cleaned. Students are encouraged to use their own materials and to not share as much as we have been used to in the past. Elementary specials teachers will be coming to the classrooms to limit the students going into other classrooms. The only class that this is not going to happen is that's physical education. They will all go to the physical education room, and whenever we can, students will go outside for PE. Our cafeteria has many changes this year. Right now we have no lunch cards, so the students are going to be using a barcode system that's going to be very easy, and it limits the amount of touching things. We have social distancing stickers on the floor in the lunchroom. We have directional stickers. Students are to stay seated, as they always have. We have extra tables now because we are utilizing the LGI room, which is the spare room right off the cafeteria. So it's like having 2 lunchrooms now. And instead of having 16 kids per table, we're limiting it to only 4 kids per table. So your child will have about 6 feet in between themselves and another student. They have quite a bit of room at these tables because it's only 4 at a table instead of 16. We have assigned seating for contract tracing. We will have a grab-and-go breakfast, and students will be picked up from the lunchroom by their teachers before going outside to recess. For recess, right now, what we will do is we will have all of our students will be in sectioned off areas for their classrooms, and it'll be on a rotating basis when the children are in certain areas. The idea in the district is that all elementary school classes will not mix with other classrooms, even at recess. Now, hopefully in the future, I'm sure these things will change, and hopefully they change sooner than later, and we'll be back to business as usual. But for now, those are the precautions we're taking at recess. In our back-to-school guidelines for Fox, I have a playground map, and it also tells you which area the kids will be playing in. That's not important to remember because the kids and the teachers will go over that each day, so they'll know the routines and the process for that. Our health aid clinic, we have a health aide here at Fox. She is wonderful, and she's going to be quite busy making sure all of our kids are safe and everyone is healthy. So minor things like Band-Aids and tooth necklaces, those types of things are now going to be taken care of in a classroom, and the health aides can focus on making sure and monitoring to make sure all of our students are in good health. Further information on protocol, sick students, all of that can be found in our back-to-school guidelines, and please make sure we are really taking that health screener before we are sending children to school. We don't want to send sick children to school because we don't want other kids and staff members getting sick. Currently, we're asking our students to bring a water bottle that is labeled with your name on it. We will be able to fill those water bottles up in our water bottle filling stations. At this time, the elementary schools are not using the water fountains. We will provide you with a water if you are in need of a water because you don't have a water bottle. And hopefully those things will be back to normal in the future, but for now the process is for children to bring a water bottle. We will provide you with a bottle of water if you do not have one. And we also have a water bottle filling station. All assemblies are going to be virtual. That way we're not putting large groups of students together at this time. Personal protective equipment is in our building. Each teacher and student has a lanyard for their facial covering. We have facial coverings for our students and our teachers each day. We have hand sanitizer available. We have wipes, plenty of soap. We have gloves. We have face shields for teachers that may be using those. We have gowns for staff members that may be working with children that are not potty trained. So we have a lot of PPE here at Fox. And if your child does not have a facial covering, we can definitely provide those things for them. One more thing we are asking our parents to do, if you could please label your child's backpack, that would be great. That will help us out and be able to make sure that we have your child's name just in case they can't tell us who they are when they arrive to school when we start the hybrid model next week. Parents, one more reminder that our school day begins with the first bell at 8:24 a.m. That means that's when we open the doors for kids. 8:30 is when the actual day begins for kids in the classroom and attendance is taken. The school day ends at 3:14 p.m. If you have any questions at all, I know there's been a ton of changes, and the goal is to get back to normal, but for now, we have many safety precautions, and that's great because we want to keep our students and staff safe. If you have any questions at all, never hesitate to ask. Give us a call, give us an email, and we'll help you with anything that you might need. We can't wait to get the kids back. We're looking forward to it, and we'll see you soon.